On this week's show, stamp duty has been extended for an extra 3 months.
And how a couple transformed a derelict rundown bus into a luxury home.
And we're going to be answering all your property related questions. Welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. Enjoy this week's show and don't forget to share it with all your friends. Hey, I'm Russell Leeds.
Hey, I'm Alistair Cunningham.
And welcome to the Property Investors Podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. Really good.
I'm very glad to hear it.
We've pinched somebody else's studio for today.
We are actually here right now at the Property Investors Crash Course. So the Property Investors Crash Course is happening in the studio downstairs right now. And we were like, let's just take a sneaky break for an hour to film the podcast. So it's going very well
We've
so far.
sneaked up to Studio B here at Ignite Studios.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I love filming in a proper and like a really good, well set out studio.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's actually pretty cool.
Nice.
So what have you been up to?
We actually completed on a plot of land yesterday.
Yes.
So it was we had a 2 p.m. deadline, and it was one of those that at 2 p.m. we still hadn't completed, and it's back and forth.
I always think these deadlines are a bit. What are they going to do? They're not going to say, "Okay, you're not having it now. Let's wait another 6 months for somebody else to come along."
Well, the vendor, it was interesting because they basically tried to apply pressure towards the end, and they said, we've got another buyer that's interested. If you don't complete by 2 p.m. on the Friday, we're going to pass the exclusivity over to them.
Well, they're just not, are they? Because then you've got that whole process going forward again, which will take months.
Yeah.
They're just not going to. I get it's pressure. I get it.
It's one of those.
It's the fear of losing out, isn't it?
It's one of those where I know they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But when you're actually trying to buy it and you've spent so long on the... You think, I know it's not going to happen.
You just want to hope it's not somebody like me saying that, because I'm the sort of pig-headed prick that will actually say, no, you're not having it anymore. I told you your deadline was 2 o'clock, you're not having it anymore. And I would sort of do that, just because that's how I am. But so it's good. You've completed on a land.
And you've completed.
What's the purpose of the land? What are you doing with it?
So we're building 5 apartments.
Okay.
So you're going to build, that's the plan. Going to build 5 apartments. That's it really. And sell.
Cool.
Build and sell.
Build and sell. I think that's the way forward. And I've also bought this week. I bought a property at auction, which was.
It's got a tree growing through it.
It pretty much has, yeah. So this is a property that's I've known about for well over a year, and my builder has viewed it multiple times because he was going to buy it for himself, but he never did. And he told me about it. He said, "Look, just so you know, it's coming up in auction, and it's a good deal, really. But it needs a full refurb, so it is a proper buy refurb refinance, or buy refurb and flip. But it's definitely a buy refurb. It's got like leaves growing in the kitchen where they're coming through the windows and where they've grown up through the windows and stuff like that. So it does need a gardener in there very, very quickly, and the tree surgeon.
I'm watching Gotham at the moment, and it looks like the sort of house Poison Ivy would live in.
I wonder if I could rent it out as filming space, because do you know what? It does look a bit dead in there.
We rented out Ribsford House yesterday.
Oh, really?
To the BBC.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
For some filming.
Ironically, don't the BBC hate us?
No, they love us now.
Oh, they love us now.
They don't know.
They have a love-hate relationship. A bit like Marmite, it's a love-hate relationship. 1 minute they hate us, next minute they love us. What was that for then? What was the filming there?
I didn't personally deal with it, I'm not really sure.
When's it happening? Has it happened or is it?
It's happened, it was yesterday.
Okay. I hope you charged them a lot of money.
So, it depends what's a lot of money.
Well, I don't know, how much did you charge them?
I'm not going to say now, am I?
You tell me in a minute.
I'll do that.
That's funny. No, it's good. But yeah, this buy refurb I bought, it's in Hull. I paid £68,000 for it, so it's worth about 120 as a minimum, I would say. And it's quite funny because one of our former academy students, I publicised on social media that I'd bought it and I bought it at auction and things like that. And one of our former academy members goes, "Alistair, you weren't bidding on this property on Suffolk Street, were you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "So was I." And I'm like, "Oh, gee." So we're bidding against each other.
Were you two driving the price up?
Probably. It was probably us to drive down those 4 or 5 bidders, but yeah, he definitely added to that. Because he's already got a property on the same street, so he knows it works very well for him and things like that.
And you're thinking maybe HMO, obviously his article, it's interesting actually, we got asked the question last week in Article 4, are you going to apply for planning? So you're thinking maybe a HMO, maybe a single-let, or maybe studio apartments?
Yeah, it could go as a 6-bed HMO quite easily, because they've converted up into a loft.
And the loft is massive,
two reception rooms. There's a lot of space in there, so it is a fairly sizable property. So I could go HMO, but however I would have to apply for planning because Article 4 is present in HU5. So I might not get it. So I'm certainly going to have a conversation with them to find out if it's possible. The other thing is I could do 3 studios on each floor, 1 on each floor, which would be a viable option. And then the other thing is to do it as a single let. So multiple options. We'll just have to see. I'm going up there Tuesday to meet my build team. I'm getting 3 quotes from 3 different builders to do the work.
Your middle 2 floors, your bottom 2 floors could be like a proper apartment, couldn't they?
They could be, yeah. And then
where are the stairs when you first go in?
Okay, so you go in, they're at the end of the hallway, above the kitchen.
So you've got to go through the house to get to them?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a pain, isn't it? If they were by the door, it would make it a bit easier.
Yeah, it would, but they're not. Well, they are by the door. But
by the front door?
Yeah, so you've got to walk from here to that door there to get to the stairs, the bottom of the
stairs.
stairs.
Yeah, but do you know the houses where you go in and you open the door and the stairs are right there?
Right, yeah, no, it's not that.
That would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be, yeah, but it's not. Look, I'm going up there Tuesday to... So on Tuesday, I've got 3 builders coming. They're all going to have a look around, and we're going to thrash out ideas. I've got window fitters coming to price it up and to price all the windows and doors because they ain't doing. I've also got a tree surgeon coming because there's a couple of trees in the back garden that need to be removed.
One in the house.
And there's one coming into the window. So I've got all that sort of stuff happening Tuesday. Now, for those smart people that are listening, they're like, well, hang about. You bought it at auction on Tuesday. How can you get access so quickly? Well, it's because...
Hold on. You bought it at auction on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Alistair, I'm wondering, how'd you get access so quickly?
Because I know what all these jobs worth will be like. The ones that the jobs worth that going, he's not got access that quick. I know what they're like. So the reason I've got access is auction property. We've already exchanged contracts, and they've just given me the key code because I'm a charming guy and I've charmed my way with the auction house.
You had me until you said you were a charming guy, and I've stopped believing you at that point.
No, they've given me the key code to the building, and they've said, yeah, as long as you're not in there for too long, it's not a problem, so we can just go in there. So I'm just going to be in there all of Tuesday. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. So yeah, just going to do it and find out. I need to get, because what I want to happen, the completion date is March 25th.
Right.
Because at auction you've got 28 days. Okay, March 25th. Yeah. So I'm going to complete March 25th. I want the build to start March 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Not then get builders out, be dicking around for 2 months getting quotes. I want to get all the quotes now, so the builders are ready to go March 25th. They can get in at 8 o'clock in the morning, start the rip out, and get all the metal windows, the metal taken off the windows, and get the trees out and all that sort of stuff. Interestingly, though, with this particular
you're buying it for cash, though, aren't you?
Cash purchase.
So it's not such a rush. But if you bought it with using bridging finance,
yeah, I get that. Yeah,
it would be a lot more. Okay, I'm spending thousands of pounds every month on interest.
Yeah,
I always think when you buy it for cash, number one, development finance is cheaper.
It is so cheaper, yeah.
And number 2, it does take away a little bit of the pressure for getting started.
Yes, it does. Yeah, because the money's there, and you want your money back, but you're not paying interest on that money really. So like I actually, I decided, I bought the property at 12:20. Okay. The auction finished at 20 past 12. I was the last bidder, £68,000, and I had to pay on the drop of the hammer. I had to pay the £8,000 fee. So that's £1,200 to the auction house for their fee, and then £6,800 for the 10% deposit. And then the balance is payable on completion. Now, I decided to implement exactly what we teach in Raisin Finance and Joint Venture. We run a program called Raisin Finance and Joint Venture, Masterclass I think it is, and it's an online program. It's all about how to raise finance and do joint ventures. So I said I'm going to just do exactly what we teach in that program, and I've done that. And literally by the end of the day, I'm talking like we're already at midday. I worked late, so by 10 o'clock at night, I have 2 investors, contracts signed, and money's been transferred. The money's not in the bank yet, but it's been transferred, so I should have it in the next couple of days. But contracts have been done, and I raised the full purchase price for that property. And it's just crazy. Like, just
So you use any of your own money for it at all?
I used some of my money. I used my money for the 10% deposit and the auction fees, but the balance of 60 grand is raised purely by investor financing.
And are they going to cover that back, or are you going to believe?
They could cover that back, yeah, because the amount we've been loaned is the full purchase price, so we'll cover that back. So the only thing I'm at loss, or at the minute, or the only thing I'm at cost is the £1,200 for the auction house's fee.
It's nice.
So it's a great deal. It really is. Now, I'm going to pay for the refurb myself, which will be £25,000. I'll fund that entirely myself.
You're not going to use development finance?
No, because I don't want to pay the interest. Because it is quite expensive. It's expensive if you've got the money. If you've not got the money, then yes, you've got no option. But I just don't see the. I'll look at the numbers.
Look at it. Speak to Steve Benchy boy.
Yeah, I will. However, what I'm saying is, I'm hoping it's going to get valued at 125, which it probably will. I've got a friend who's got a property on the same street. It's 4-bed HMO. It's been valued at 125. So this is going to be 3 studios, I think, and I reckon it'll be valued about the same. Okay, if it is, then I'll get £90,000 back from the lender. I can pay back the £68,000 to the private investors plus a little bit of interest, so they say £72,000, and I'm going to be left with 18, maybe £20,000 back in my bank. That'll cover the refurb, so I'm not going to get money out of it, and I might leave maybe £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 in it. I'm more than happy with that because it's a great little investment. So
yeah,
that's what I've been up to this week. You've bought land, I've bought a house. Ironically, now that I raised the finance for that, I'm actually looking at another one next week on auction as well. So
nice.
We'll see.
Nice, good stuff.
I've decided this year I want to buy lots of houses. So.
Well, you want to buy it quick because we'll come on to our first story. Stamp duty is being extended.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to finish on the 31st of March.
How long have they extended it for?
3 months.
Cool.
It was April, May, June.
Yeah.
End of June.
Good stuff.
So, it's pretty good news, isn't it?
It is.
For anyone that's buying properties.
It absolutely is. It's. Are
you surprised?
No. I thought they would do that.
Yeah, I thought they would.
I thought all the time. I was speaking to my solicitor the other day, and I'm trying to get them to do an amendment to a lease option agreement that I have. And they're like, yeah, but it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, really? Come on, it's just a small amendment. It wouldn't take that long. And they said, look, they're inundated with properties that are due to complete by March 31st. They've got a backlog, and they're just trying to get through all these the conveyancing work for these properties to get them in time for mental.
Every solicitor, because we use a few different solicitors depending on what it's for. Every single solicitor we use has been super duper slow.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we've got lots of different things going on. Doesn't matter what's going on, what it is. The solicitors are slow. For the same reason.
Yeah.
They're backlogged, absolutely backlogged. So I think part of the reason they've extended it is just to allow for these to go through. But is it going to just have the same thing end of June, and the solicitors now going to be backlogged for the next?
Obviously now we've got since last week we've now got a clear sort of defined roadmap out of lockdown, and I think this is actually going to be the one that works, don't you? The roadmap that old BJ has put out, I think it is going to be the one that they stick to and works.
Well, that's going. Well, that kind of is June, isn't it? So it ties in nicely with this. But
what do you think about? Obviously, they've given us a roadmap for the lockdown. What do you think of it? Do you think it's going to happen like that? Do you think by June 22nd, I think it was, we'll be back to complete normality?
You know, I've kind of given up trying to guess what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They've also said that any changes they bring in are going to be irreversible. So if you know, let's say the schools go back, when you're watching
March
this.
8th.
Oh no, hold on. Yeah, so
March
the
8th.
schools go back in less than a week's time.
Yeah.
When the schools go back, they say that's going to be reversible. Does that mean they're never going to do this again? What? Because I just don't believe a word they say.
No, I don't, but I do have a sneaky suspicion. I've got a feeling that this is going to be it now. I do have a feeling that come June 22nd, I don't think we're going to be back to normality as we know 2 years ago, but I think we're going to be as back to normality as best as we can get in the current situation. I think obviously all the bars, like they're saying May 17th, all the pubs, restaurants, cinemas, theatres and that can open. We can start running proper crash courses again from May 17th.
But they said that in October, November time.
Yeah.
We have
moved on
like 2
a
weeks.
lot. Do you not think? We have moved on an awful lot since then. Like, and whether you believe it or whether you agree or don't agree, they've got the rollout of the vaccination, which your opinions on that are all over the place. But the fact is, it's out there. The fact is, that's going to then alleviate a lot of the that's a massive part of the reason why we can come out of lockdown. Whether you choose to or choose not to have it is entirely a personal choice. But
yeah, I do think that's going to help with coming out of it. But hey, I mean, they could very easily turn around in 2 months' time and say, "Oh, a new strain has come. They've all gone up. Right, we're going back in." They could very easily say that. I mean, I don't know. What do you know? What I think?
Let's be a conspiracy, right? Okay.
Go on.
So we both have our opinions on this whole situation about money, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're making that through the vaccination. So now they can release the economy back. Do you not think?
Maybe. What's gonna? I mean, there's talk, isn't there, of corporation tax going up to 23%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it an excuse to tax the crap out of us for the next 10 years, or how long are we going to be paying for this?
Yeah.
Is certainly a question. I mean, I see a lot of people giving people like Victoria Beckham stick. This is a little while ago now, for putting her staff on furlough. And it's like, should we be paying that back in taxes over the next few years? Don't you worry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Don't you worry. Quickly, let's go through this article then. So. This is in The Guardian, just to fill you guys in. So, about 300,000 property purchasers in England could benefit from a 3-month extension to the stamp duty holiday. It's been estimated, as reports suggest, the Chancellor could be set to prolong the tax break in next week's budget. So this is not definite, by the way. This is just what they're saying is going to happen. Could be wrong. The tax saving, which cuts the bill entirely on properties costing between 125 and 500,000 and reduces it on homes costing more than that, was announced last summer, and it is due to end on the 31st of March. However, it's understood they decided to extend it for 3 months in line with other measures to support the economy. It's not clear if the extension would apply to all purchases or would be on a tapered basis and apply just to those agreed before an earlier day, as lobbied by some. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they did say that, if purchases that are going through now. But yeah, so there you go. That's kind of the crack. I think it's good news for anyone who's buying right now.
It is. Obviously, the extension of stamp duty holiday doesn't. How does that affect the investor though?
Investors? Well, it means you save stamp duty if you're buying.
How much? How much do we save?
I believe it's 2%. 2% that's knocked off. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact specs because we talked about this months ago when it first came out, but I can't remember what the result of it was. But yeah, it's all good. If there's a stamp duty holiday, great. It's going to boost the economy. It's going to help people buy more property and save on that stamp duty. Yeah, but if you do what we teach and do buy, refurbish, refinance with uninhabitable properties, you won't be paying stamp anyway. You get that back. So it's all good. But yeah, no, it's all good. I think it's great.
How much stamp are you paying on this one that you just bought?
Okay, they've told me £1,400, but it's uninhabitable, so I might have to pay it and then reclaim it. But I won't be paying any stamp eventually because it's uninhabitable. It's got no electric, it's got no kitchen, it's got no bathroom, so it's not a livable dwelling. So you don't pay stamp on houses you can't live in.
Yeah.
So I can reclaim it, but I might have to reclaim it. So the solicitor might charge me it and say you've got to pay it first, and then you've got to provide proof that it is uninhabitable and it's not a livable dwelling, and then you can reclaim that back. I've done this for my last purchase, which was in Bedford. Property was uninhabitable, no kitchen, no bathroom, and the electrics were terminated. Also the water was turned off as well, and the stamp on that was £8,000. So I had to pay it due to the lending criteria by the bridging company stated that the property had to be registered within 14 days. Now, if you don't pay stamp, you can't register the property within 14 days. It takes longer, so therefore breach the terms and conditions of the bridger. So I had to pay it, but then I had to reclaim it. So all you do is you write a letter to, and I've got the address, you write a letter to HMRC, providing your UTR number, the date of completion, the transaction number for when you paid stamp duty, and the reasons why you're reclaiming it, and then provide evidence of such, of why it's uninhabitable, and then they authorise the refund, and HMRC paid me back the full £8,000. It took about 6 weeks, but it doesn't matter. Comes in the end, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, great. So
I think we got ours down as well for this land, so that the vendor solicitor said it was like 6,500.
Okay.
We got it down to we got our accountants onto them who are specialists in it and argued the toss, and we got it down to 1,200, I think.
Good.
So it's pretty good.
Same as, so you're paying £200,000 purchase on a bit of land and £68,000 purchase, you're paying similar sort of tax duty, stamp duty.
It's non-residential though.
Yeah.
It's not, so it's a lot cheaper. But right, okay, so that's stamp duty. In the news this week, we had a little story that caught our eye that we thought we would tell you guys about. So, a couple, they buy this really old double-decker bus for 2,500 quid. Now, you probably could do that because you used to be in the coach and bus. You got contacts, right?
I was a bus and coach, I'm a trained bus and coach mechanic, engineer. So what I'd done when I left school, went straight into the bus and coach industry, and I worked there until I was early 30s.
Yeah. So they decided to move in together. Yeah. Instead of buying a house like a normal person, they bought this bus for 2,500. Yeah. They then refurbed the bus and turned it into a luxury home, apparently. So I'll just show you some pictures there. So upstairs, you've got like a bed at the end, bath, TV. They're upstairs, like an ensuite bedroom, I suppose, is probably the best way to describe it, albeit only one room. And then downstairs is
done a pretty good job, haven't they?
They've done a pretty good job. We've got like a little kitchen diner at the one end and a
still
lounge.
Friggin' bus, though, isn't it?
You are still on a bus. That is very true. They also have a patio.
Bit of decking.
Little bit of decking there. There's the woman in the bath.
Oh, hello.
There's the guy.
Do you know, it's interesting because obviously I come from the bus and coach world, so I used to see this sort of stuff all the time. People used to buy old double-decker buses and then make them, convert them into, like, a common one is hairdressers, like barber shops. There's one at South Mim Services. So as you go to the back end of South Mim Services, you'll see there's a double-decker bus and it's been converted into a barber shop. So you go in there and there's barber chairs everywhere and there's a waiting room. You wait downstairs, then you go upstairs and get your hair cut, then come down. Also, you see it quite common. People convert them into cafes, and a lot of like film companies that provide the set and all the equipment, they have double-decker buses converted into sort of dining areas with tables and chairs inside.
I've actually been in there. Yeah. So I did a little bit of consultancy work for the BBC on some shows a few years ago now, and that was what they all had for. You go and get your food from a van and then take it and sit on the bus.
So it's a common thing because it's a cheap way to live if that's what you want to do. Now this is very much a lifestyle choice. I wouldn't do that. There's no freaking way on this planet you'd see me living in a double-decker bus. But I just wouldn't do it. Like, how do they get running water? And they must have an electric mains hook up somewhere, or... I mean, I'm sure it's lovely, but...
I imagine a lot of these sort of things, it doesn't give massive detail, but I imagine they've probably got something set up like... do you know, like you do with a caravan? Yeah. So you could have, they don't necessarily electric. Yeah. Well, you could have a plug-in point, or you could use like solar powers on the roof, like that, or a jet. I don't know.
Maybe it's like one of these sort of modern age hippie, isn't it? Like living the sort of carbon zero footprint life.
Yeah. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely stupid because right. I just think it's ludicrous because they've spent £2,500 on the bus, fine, but then they spent 15 grand doing it up. So they spent 17.5 grand on this bus.
So 20 grand, yeah.
Right, yeah. You could put that down and you can't get a freaking mortgage on that because it's a bus. You're now stuck with a 17.5 grand depreciating asset that you cannot sell.
Mate, that's not depreciating asset. They'll sell that for more than they paid for it.
No,
dude, they will. More hippies, and they've got money,
mate. When that gets old, right, who's going to want to buy it?
Honestly, the market for that sort of stuff is humongous.
It's not going to go up like a house, is it?
No, it's not going to go up like a house. Think about it. You've
20
got
20 grand then. We've got 20 grand.
Where are you going to buy, realistically, a 20 grand deposit on a residential basis? That will get you a house.
£200,000.
Give or take. Maybe a 180, 200,000.
Let's say 150, to be kind.
Right, fine. So bearing in mind, the average house price in the UK is £200,000. So they're in like a really nice part of Kent. So they're not going to get anything near Kent like
that. They're living in a bus!
Yeah, but where they want to live.
Alright, okay, let me tell you what to do then, instead.
Drive it to where they want to live.
No, right, no.
Think of the benefits, like, if your neighbours piss you off, like, all you got to do is start the engine and drive it somewhere else.
So then you've got 17.5 grand, that'll buy you a house, right? Or buy a cheaper house, right? Let's say, buy a cheaper house, put a bit less in, as a buy to let, 80 grand, something like that. Yeah. And then Rent where you live.
Yeah, use the money, the rent. I agree with that.
And now you've got an asset that's giving you cash flow.
Yeah.
That's going up in value. That ain't gonna. Don't tell me that's going to be worth 40 grand or whatever. That is going to depreciate.
Dude,
No one is
I'm
going to
telling you
buy
now.
a bus.
No, but I'm not going to say it's a massive market, but people will pay for that sort of stuff. Have you never seen all the VW camper vans that sell for 60, 70 grand?
This is no
I know
bus.
it's a bus, but the theory is people like this.
It doesn't even drive.
Well, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You can't. They will be able to move it.
You should probably tow it.
Yeah, you have to tow it. Yeah. But my point.
Also,
being,
where would you park the bus? Where would you park said
well, they've
bus?
obviously parked it in. By the looks of it, they've parked it in like a forest. I mean, it's not my choice, and I wouldn't do it, but I respect that they've done
could
it.
you do that though? Could you just literally are they going to have to be paying for some land, aren't they?
Probably they'll probably have some sort of tax or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
But look, they're only young, 26, 27. It's a choice, isn't it? It is
That's
a choice.
Not young.
Well, it's not old.
It's not old, but it's not
So
young.
look, there you are. Charlie's dad, the guy who owns it, Charlie. His dad has the bit of land, so he pays a small fee to rent a bit of land, bit of space on his land to park his bus. But look, with the cost of living nowadays, they're in London and just outside London, so the cost of living in London is very, very expensive.
Oh, let me ask you a question then.
Maybe they don't want to live up in Hartlepool where they can buy a house for 80 grand. Maybe
But
they want to
then.
live.
Rent then.
Yeah, but fine. Maybe they want to live in that sort of part of the country where they can commute into London for their jobs. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a choice.
Well, let me ask you a question then. If someone came to us, an Academy member, and said, "Hey guys,
buying this bus.
Hey guys, I've got 17.5 grand.
Yeah.
And I could do a BRR type deal, or I could just buy a buy to let and rent where I live, or there's this bus here, right? It's 2.5 grand. My dad owns a piece of land. I can pay him for a bit of that, and I can renovate the bus. Spend 15 grand renovating the bus. I can live in a bus. What would you advise them?
I'd tell them they're a complete idiotic fool, but it doesn't mean I don't accept that they've done it. I'm
not disputing that they've done it. I'm not here going, this didn't happen.
No,
I accept they did it. I just think it's stupid.
I admire their life choices. I wouldn't do it. I think it's a shit investment. I wouldn't do it, but it will sell. If they put that on the market, that will sell. And it will sell for more than what they paid for it. I can tell you that now. Categorically.
I would love to know what you think. Would you like to spend 17.5 grand living in a bus? Do you think it's a smart idea, or do you think it's stupid? Comment below.
It's a big market, guys. I'm telling you, it's a big market.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's 544 square feet for the bus.
Yeah.
How many square meters? What's that in square meters?
2.2 feet to a meter. I don't know. I don't know, but look, it's a life choice, isn't it? And it's the new age, like living off the land as opposed to
outrageous. Yeah. It's the worst investment I've ever seen.
We agree, it's not the best investment, but it's a life choice. They probably love it.
It's also a terrible life choice.
They probably love it, right? They probably love it.
Terrible life choice, terrible investment, terrible move. Do not do it.
What do you guys think? Do you think that it's a good move or a bad move? Would you live in a bus? Would you?
See, just saying it sounds stupid. Right, it's now time for this. Okay, it's now time for the quiz. So I'm going to hand over to our quizmaster for the Property Investors Podcast, Mr. Ricky Mandel.
Ricky Poppin Mandel.
Oh God, and the abuse starts already. In the red corner, we have the one and only, the CEO, the reigning champion, Mr. Russell Leeds.
Don't get too used to that title.
And in the blue corner, we have the man behind the points, the man losing the competition, Alistair Cunningham.
Okay, yeah.
Good intro.
Welcome.
All right,
We haven't
first,
got pen and paper this time, so we'll have to write it on our phones.
make sure you write down because Alistair will probably cheat.
No, I'm not having you write down anything on your phone. You leave your phone in your pocket and use the tablet. I'm having no cheating going on here.
All right, here we go. Question number 1.
Go on.
Closest to.
Oh, these questions.
There's no internet on here, by the way.
That doesn't matter. You don't need internet.
Well, you're going to cheat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't cheat. I'm just.
Fine, okay, go on.
Closest to.
I don't want you to see what I've written.
How many empty homes are there in England?
I actually...
Of course he knows it.
No, I actually remember reading this about 6 months ago.
may have changed.
Yeah, definitely changed. I can't remember what the number was.
How many empty homes are there in England?
Alright.
Well, you can't use your
I'm going
phone.
to go into notes. Russell can see.
No, because if I write my answer, you can just say your answer.
Oh, fine, go on.
Yeah. Okay, closest to...
I reckon there's a lot.
Ask Siri. Go on. Alright.
Go on.
Alistair first?
No, Russell first.
Russell first?
No, I can't
Hold on,
say
I'm the
first.
quiz
I'm the
master. Hold
writer.
on.
You go.
I decide. Alistair.
I've written, I'm committed.
277,500.
Okay.
I went for 1 million.
Seriously, what's your answer?
1 million, he said it.
Really?
Yeah.
I reckon there's a load.
Are you kidding?
Well,
How
obviously,
many?
actually, you know the answer.
216,000.
Was that? And yeah.
I also knew that
Hold
there's no
on.
point even trying because he's going to know to the nth degree.
A million.
277 wins it. That's 1-0 to me.
Alright. Closest
How many
to.
questions today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay, go on then.
Closest to. The Housing Act introduced licensing for HMOs on what date?
Oh my goodness.
The Housing Act introduced the housing license.
Licenses for HMOs.
Right.
I haven't got a
I've got a
clue.
sneaky suspicion. I might know that, but
Alright.
I'm there or thereabouts.
Do you not remember when I told you it the other day?
No.
Do you remember when you planned it on the car on the way here? Go on.
Okay. 5th of April 1991.
That's when ASTs came in. So you're guessing it's the
Maybe.
same. I think I've gone for April 2004.
Ooh, what date?
Well, you said April, don't matter.
What was closest to?
Well, you're not going to know by the dates.
Oh
are you?
yeah,
'Cause it's
true,
12 years
true.
apart.
Well, no, but you were close to the date. It was but you were close to the year. 6th of April, 2006.
Oh, that's
so
right.
this is
Yes.
right. It's 1-1.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Question number 3. What is the most expensive road in England? This isn't the closest to.
You
This
can't
is.
buy roads, can you? So, like,
Right.
you mean
okay.
what cost the most to build?
No.
No.
The average house price.
Yeah, the average house price.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
I was thinking like M1, M2.
The
So
most
what's the-
expensive road
In
in
England.
England?
Can you give us
okay.
a choice of 3? Because
No, there's no
Yeah.
choices.
Do you want a choice of
choice
3?
of 3.
Okay. Choice 1, Wavendon Road,
Yeah.
London. Choice 2, Finchley Pass, London.
That's just such a made-up name. Go on. Uh-huh.
Choice 3, Avenue Road, London.
It's not B, is it?
You put me on the spot.
I'm going to go with Finchley Pass.
The last one.
Avenue Road. It's Avenue Road.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually initially thought it was the Bishop's Avenue in Finchley.
It's Avenue Road, London.
Yeah, fine, fair enough.
So 2-1 to me.
So Russell
I,
takes
I
that.
thought he was trying to play devil's bluff later.
Finchley-
where he
Finchley
went
Pass.
and he tried to giggle to put us off. But anyway, I thought it was Bishop's Avenue.
Okay, well, it's Avenue Road. So
Okay.
following on from that question.
Bishop's Avenue, the one in Only Fools and Horses.
No.
Have you seen that episode? No, have you seen the episode that I'm talking about? Where Rodney's embarrassed of taking them back to Nelson Mandela's house. And
no,
he takes
no,
them to Bishop's Avenue. I'm sure it's Bishop's
It
Avenue.
might be, but no, I'm on the Bishop's Avenue.
All right.
All these derelict mansions are. We've talked about it before on the show.
The most expensive road is
it's
Avenue.
2-1,
it's-
2-1.
Yep, it's Avenue Road in London.
Yeah.
What is the average house price on Avenue Road in London?
Alright. Well, I know Bishop's Avenue.
But it's not Bishop's Avenue.
I am saying aye.
Let him talk, go on.
I know Bishop's Avenue is not the most expensive house area in London, but I also know the average house price of Bishop's Avenue, so it's going to be above that.
What's
See?
the average house price of Bishop's Avenue then?
Well, I'll be telling.
Well, it's not telling the answer though, is it?
Yeah, but I'm not going to tell you that because that will lead you to the answer. Because knowing you, you'll come up with some ludicrous amount.
You'll come up with like $1 billion.
$1 billion. I've got my figure.
Alright, well, Russell, go first.
Oh, I've written mine though, so you go.
Okay, my average price is 60 million.
Russ?
20.
It's 30.5.
So Russell wins. 3-1.
Shame.
3-1.
Alright, final question.
Alright, hurry up.
How many properties? How many properties were registered to be built in the year of 2019?
Yeah, I've got a number.
Registered to be built, as in were built, or as in like got planning?
Registered to be built.
Alright.
I'll let you decide who goes first, because every time I choose, you always go the opposite
Go
way.
on, I've gone.
15,700.
15?
Yeah.
Way more. 150.
Ooh, 161,022.
Landslide this week for Russell.
15,000. That's worse than Russell's Buckingham Palace answer.
I know, landslide victory for Russell Leeds, unfortunately.
You'd probably get sites, estates, that are as many as that.
Let's move on from this part of the show. We don't need you anymore, Ricky. Now you can bugger off.
We do. He's the question master.
Questions.
Go on then. Let's hear the questions from the people.
Okay, so we've got a couple of questions here.
Question from Ethan.
Hold on quickly. For those that don't know where we ask for the questions, we do an Instagram live just before the show, and you have to direct message me the questions for the show.
Here's a question from Ethan. When deal sourcing, after getting an offer accepted, how do you allow time to find an investor while the agent is chasing you for the buyer's for solicitors?
It's the classic chicken and the egg situation that we get asked this question quite. Have we done a show on this?
We've done a 7-step guide to deal sourcing.
Yeah, but have we done a particular
There's
show
more questions
talking
in
about
the
this?
messages.
A particular show talking about this, because it might be worth it. We get asked so much.
Yeah, we do. Look, your job is to, one, have an idea of what your investors are looking for, and be in a position so you're not just throwing out offers all the time. You actually go ahead, you find a property, you do what's called an if would. If I was to offer X, do you think they would accept it? And if that's the case, then you present it to your investors. Once investors say, yeah, I want to go ahead with it, you say, no problem, then we go away and get that secured for you and do it that way. The other way is to do bespoke sourcing. So find an investor, understand their needs, get them to commit to buying a deal that matches their needs. You go out and find that deal, and then you charge them a fee for that. That's how I would do it. But fundamentally, if you're going to do it on the method of where you have a list of investors and you find deals and you send to that list, you're going to have to get good at securing deals, good at letting the agent know that you're going to need a few days to deal with this, and just get good at delaying. And also make sure your investors are good enough that they're going to buy deals.
So if someone said investors first or deals first,
I would always look for investors, because there's plenty of deals out there. Like, you just got to get good at finding deals, but focus on your investor. Because at the end of the day, if you focus on what you can provide to the investor, then you'll get paid. I say this all the time. If you help somebody get what they want, then you'll get what you want. So that, to me, number one thing, investor.
Also, on the Deal Selling Masterclass, we go through how to find the investor, which will help you find a deal with bespoke sourcing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you need, listen, anyone that wants to do deal sourcing training, we run many programs, and one of them is Deal Selling Masterclass. It's amazing. I'm actually running a live 3-day event in a couple of weeks' time. If you want to come along to that, obviously there's a charge. It's not free. There's an investment to be made. Just drop us a message, and we'll talk to you, and we'll tell you how you can get involved in that. Okay, next question.
next downstairs face.
Right, okay.
Next question is from Chris. And Chris asks, I hear a lot of talk about bad deal sources. What separates the good sources from the bad ones?
The quality of the deals.
The quality of the deals, and those that have got trained and not just decided to have a bash. Too many people watch a YouTube video and just say, hey, this looks easy, I'm going to go and have a bash. Okay, and what happens is they don't do it properly, they don't have the education, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the bank balance to support their business, and they go out and they're so motivated to make money that they're not motivated to serve. You have to be motivated to serve, because then the money will come. Treat it like a business, you'll get business results. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll get hobby results. If you run it like a hobby, you'll never get anywhere. Get trained, get educated, make sure you run it like a business, and be honourable to your investors, and don't try and stitch them up for £2,000.
That's a property magnate in the world answer, that is.
Final question is from Ryan this week. And Ryan asks, which do you think is better and more important, being a master at sales and negotiations or being a master at finding good deals to then go and sell? And how would you improve on all of these?
Oh, my answer to that is, what do you think's better, Ryan? Do you think it's better to be a good at sales or good at finding deals? I'm a and man, not an or man, so I would be good at both.
You are actually, because I asked you a question earlier, and you were an and man for that, weren't you?
You did ask me a question earlier, and you asked me a very nice question earlier, and he said, do you like this or this? And I said, I like both. I'm an and man. I'm not an or man. I don't limit myself.
It's true.
So get good at selling, get good at finding deals, make money.
I would say that the skill of finding deals is easier to learn than the skill of being a good salesperson or negotiator.
Yeah.
So if you were starting me from scratch and said you can either be a good sales negotiator or good at finding deals, obviously you need to learn both. But it's easier to learn how to find good deals than it is to learn how to be good at sales negotiation.
So back to our question earlier. What are you? Are you option A or option B?
A.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
What are you, Ricky? You option A or option B?
He's C.
Oh yeah, I agree. What are you? Are you option A or option B? Guys, hope you've enjoyed the show this week. Thanks to our cameraman, our Logan, ever so loyal cameraman behind the scenes, Big Rick. And hope you've enjoyed the show this week. Nah, honestly, man, thanks for doing the questions for us, Ricky. We wouldn't be anywhere without you holding the camera. Okay, on that bombshell, guys, tune in next week. We'll see you every Wednesday.
He doesn't even hold it, so I tried, man. He just presses the button.
That's how useful he is. And he can't even
no, I do more. I have to clear all the footage that he's been filming the night before.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, hope you found it funny. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've loved it. If you have, share, comment, love, and share the heck out of it. Guys, see you next week.
See you guys.